The phone buzzed itself to death on a hotel nightstand I didn't recognize anymore. 107 missed calls. Her name filled the screen like a ghost that refused to stay buried. I didn't answer. I sat there and listened to the silence, the kind you earn. 15 years earlier, the silence had started on a cracked highway shoulder in Nevada. Heat shimmering, my suitcase in the dust, her laughter trailing away as the taillights disappeared. "Relax," she'd said, smiling for her friends. "We're just messing with you." They didn't come back. That was the moment something essential left me. Not anger, not fear. Faith, the kind you don't notice until it's gone. I stood there for an hour before the sun taught me how small I was. No signal, no wallet. She'd offered to hold it. A joke. Everything was a joke. I hitched a ride into town and slept on a bench with my shoes under my head like a promise I was still keeping. We'd been married 5 years then. The good kind, I thought. Inside jokes, Sunday coffee. Her friends were always around, too loud, too close, always measuring me. I mistook familiarity for loyalty. That's on me. When I finally got a bus home 2 days later, the apartment was empty. Clothes gone, photos missing me cut out at the edges, a note on the counter, thin as an excuse. I need space. Space is what you give someone you trust to return. That night, I learned the other meaning. The discovery came quietly. A forwarded email from her friend, accidentally sent to me. A laughing thread, screenshots, a poll. How long before he cracks? Bet he can't make it back. Should we tell him we moved? I didn't cry. I felt something colder slide into place, precise and permanent. I disappeared without drama, changed my number, closed accounts, took a job 3 states away that didn't ask questions, slept on clean floors, ate cheap, learned how to listen more than I spoke. I stopped correcting people when they misunderstood me. That was training. Years passed. I built myself the way you build a vault, layer by layer, boring to look at, impossible to breach. I studied law at night, finance on weekends. I learned where signatures mattered and where silence mattered more. I started a trust with a name that meant nothing, funded it slowly, patiently. I bought slivers of companies no one was watching. I learned the boardrooms before I ever entered them. I learned how power moves when it thinks no one is looking. She remarried, divorced. I read the filings like weather reports, neutral, informative. When she tried to find me, she couldn't. I made sure of that. I wasn't hiding. I was gone. The execution didn't look like revenge. That's why it worked. A mid-sized firm she worked for began to struggle. Restructuring, new capital, a lifeline appeared. My trust, quiet money, no face, just terms, fair ones, generous even. I never met her. I didn't need to. On a Thursday afternoon, I sat at the back of a boardroom I owned without announcing it. The CEO hissed at someone across the table, frustration leaking through his teeth. "You're outdated. We're done here." I nodded to myself, understood. By Monday morning, the retirement trust activated its voting rights. Emergency meeting, confusion, panic dressed in tailored suits. Someone asked the question out loud, voice cracking. Who just fired the person who owns 76% of the shares? I didn't smile. I signed. The fallout was efficient. Promotions reversed. Pensions frozen, then restored. Selectively. Emails went unanswered, doors closed that had always been open. She lost her position without a scandal to blame, just math. That's when the calls started, 107 of them. I finally met her in a cafe she chose because it felt safe, sunlight on reclaimed wood. She looked older. So did I. She tried to apologize before I sat down. I let her finish. "I didn't think you'd never come back," she said. I didn't. I replied. I arrived. She talked about jokes that went too far, about friends who influenced her, about the girl she was. I watched her hands shake and felt nothing but clarity. "You left me to see if I'd survive," I said quietly. "I did more than that." Her eyes searched my face, looking for anger to negotiate with. There wasn't any. "I'm not here to hurt you," I continued. "I'm here to end this." I slid a folder across the table. Documents, timelines, a trust she didn't understand and didn't need to, a severance agreement from a company she thought had failed her, a clause releasing both of us from contact. She didn't ask how, she finally understood why. When she reached for my hand, I stood. "Some people think revenge is fire," I said. "It's not, it's architecture." I left her with the folder and the truth. The calls stopped that night. Now the phone is quiet. The city hums below my window. I drink my coffee the way I like it. Sundays belong to me again. I didn't come back. I became unreachable.